Hello everybody, welcome to another deep dive on European hidden gem stocks. This is a channel where I do deep dives on small European companies that are flying under the radar in the style of Peter Lynch, looking for small, dull, boring companies that are flying under the radar that nobody cares about, that perform outstandingly. This is a business I understand very well, and I say that because I use them as a broker myself. The name of the company is called Flatex Degiro AG, but everybody calls it Degiro. That's what the website says. That's the name of the business, Degiro. It trades under the ticker symbol FTK on the Extra Frankfurt Exchange. Founded in 1999, so a little while ago now. They've been around for a little while, and it's only a market cap of 3 billion euros, which I find pretty interesting. It's got fairly decent inside ownership at 22%, but high institutional ownership at 55%. A lot of the people that I watch on YouTube and I read on Substack, they cover all the other brokers except the Degiro. And I'm thinking of the popular names like IBKR, Robinhood, and don't get me wrong, they're fantastic brokers, but this one doesn't get any mentions whatsoever. Like most of those sorts of stocks, had a bit of a decline since 2021, but look what's happened in the past couple of years on the chart. Since 2023, most of the brokers like IBKR, Robinhood, those sorts of companies, they've been on a massive bull run since 2023. And I think that was inspired after COVID when people started trading. They kept these brokerage accounts and now they're back towards, trading. So what do? Well, they're basically like IBKR, Interactive Brokers, Robinhood, eToro. They're a European online brokerage. They don't have they're not associated with any major bank or any financial institution. They offer stocks, ETFs, bonds, options, and derivatives to private investors and individual investors like me. That's how I got started. I started looking into European brokers, looking at good ones, some that are reliable, some that I can trust, and some that are low cost. And I'll go into some of that in a bit more detail, but they operate in a similar way to Robinhood Degiro. They're across 16 different countries in the EU. They're widely established. It's a mature company, and they can handle volume. They offer an app on the iOS and Android and the App Store, and you can download the app, sign up, upload some documents, and get an account in like 1 or 2 days. It's very simple to set up. So they make money in three simple ways: trading commissions, interest income, and FX conversion fees. So each time you make a trade, you buy a stock on Degiro, there's a small fee that comes with that, both the commissions and the handling fee. The second way they make money is interest income. So every time you transfer money into your Degiro account, it sits there as an available balance, and Degiro make money while that money is being sitting in your account with interest as interest income. And the other way they make money, and this is very clever of them, is like me, everyone wants access to United States markets, to US stocks. So to buy stocks on the New York Stock Exchange and the Nasdaq, you need to buy those stocks in US dollars. And to buy those stocks in US dollars, you need to convert your euros to US dollars. So Degiro charge you the privilege and access fees for conversion. And that's a brilliant way that they make money because they rely on European investors wanting access to the best companies in the world. Let's face it, everyone wants to buy Nvidia, Amazon, Apple, those sorts of Mag 7 stocks, and every time you want to buy those stocks, you're going to have to pay an FX conversion fee. There's no way getting around that. And they also have other services, consulting services for large financial institutions, but that's not a big part of their revenue. So the key question is, why do I like it? Well, here's the top 10 reasons. Now, without going into too much detail, it's suited for European investors. And when I say European investors, it's all in Dutch, in French. It's in the language that's suited to them. Not everyone's very fluent in English, cannot read English correctly. I have trouble understanding French a lot. So yeah, it's in multiple languages. It's easy to understand. It's easy to navigate. The user interface is quite good compared to other brokers, other native brokers in Europe. It's not that hard to use. Second reason, low fees. Like look in the shares and ETFs table here. They offer, and I think this has been revised downwards in the last few days. I'll have to check, but each time you make a, you buy a stock or an ETF, they charge you €2 commission. Other businesses I know, other brokers, €7.50, €10, sometimes even €15. That's BS. I can't handle that. If I'm going to use a broker and I'm going to be a small amateur stock picker, retail investor, I want the lowest commissions possible, lowest fees possible. So that's not bad. And access to the American markets, it's cheaper for me to buy an American US stock than it is to buy a stock in Europe. That's crazy. But that's a really good thing for me. I'm going to take advantage of that. Low fees, and the other part of this equation is it handles all the taxes where I live. So every time I buy a stock, it deducts the transaction tax that's applicable to where I live. Even if I buy a stock from the UK, it deducts a stamp duty, so I don't have to worry about that. So it does these simple things. While it doesn't seem like a big deal, it's a massive deal to me because I don't have to think about filing documents to different countries and the government here to declare taxes. It's just a job I don't have to worry about. So for me, it's worth it. Like I just said, cheap access to the US markets. It's cheaper for me to buy a US stock than a European stock. They have a good offering. They offer all the Euronext exchanges, the German exchange, the UK, the London Stock Exchange, all the main places where I want to buy stocks. They have a great offering. The company has insane margins. So 85% gross margin, 24% net margin. So for every dollar they make, they get to keep 24 cents. So it's a very highly profitable business. Looking back over the balance sheet, they've got low dilution and they've started doing buybacks in 2024. So when they're buying back their own stock, that indicates to me it's pretty cheap and they've got a bit of excess cash to burn. So rather than wasting that on acquisitions or mergers or anything like that, they're starting to do buybacks. But there's some other things I'll say about what their capital allocation strategy is, if you like. They have a growing cash pile, which is great. So it's pretty hard to go broke when there's no long-term debt and you've got cash in the bank. It's a very capital light business, and that's something that's really important I look for. I look for capital light businesses that are digital. So if they want to expand, they have low fixed costs to expand and scale out. And the good news is they have announced some new products in the most recent earning call. So in the last earning call, they announced crypto's coming in 2025, and they've announced some partnerships with some people that do liquidity, order routing, and custody, and they're going to be offering these 20 most relevant cryptocurrencies, and it's going to be as simple as like buying a stock or investing in a stock on their app. You pick the coin, press a button, and then boom, you have it. It's very simple. So what I want to say about risks and dislikes. They have been investigated by the German regulator. This is BaFin, and the BaFin found some issues with their operations. And Degiro, to their credit, they came out and said, "Yep, these things have happened. This is what we've done to resolve them." And according to the latest earnings call, the BaFin findings have been resolved and they've been actioned and closed out. So that's a good sign. It signals to me that yes, they've admitted to doing something. Those findings have been resolved, and they're being honest and transparent with their shareholders, so that they're not hiding anything. So that gives me a bit of comfort. Competition risks are real. So people like Bucks, Saxo, Bolero, Lynx, Keytrade, they're all competitors in the field. Even IBKR and Robinhood, they're relatively, not IBKR, but Robinhood's a relatively new entrant into European brokerages, so it's expanding. So there's a likelihood that Robinhood and other neo brokers, other online only brokers could come in and steal their lunch. But I like the idea that Degiro is the only one that offers me very cheap access to US stocks and European stocks and ETFs. And I like the idea that they can handle all my taxes and it's very easy to use. So for me, there is competition, but I still think they're the best option available for people like me. Um, they do they do have signaled that they're going to expand into crypto in 2025. So if they don't execute on that, that could lead to people being a bit disenchanted, a bit unhappy with their experience. So they need to make good on all the promises that they've made about expanding crypto offerings in 2025. There's also the macro risk that comes with every stock, basically. So there could be a sharp rise in unemployment. There could be, interest rates may not go down; they might go up. So, and this could lead to the stock performing, traders adapting their behaviour, not trading as often, not taking on as much risk, taking their money away from their accounts. That could lead to a bit of downside for the stock. So what does the future growth story look like? So if I get out my crystal ball, I'm just going to predict that there'll be a secular trend towards digital-only platforms in the future, especially towards low-cost digital-only platforms. And when I say digital-only platforms, most of the major banks in Europe have a broker app or have some sort of app you can download to your phone. In my experience, it's nowhere as good as Degiro's app is. So people that are wanting to get into investing, especially younger people looking to put money away so they can get ahead, they're going to download apps like Degiro, Robinhood, IBKR because they're just digital only and they're just better. They're cheaper, they're faster, they're easier, and they're better. And that's the four basic tenets of disruption. I think offering crypto will provide a bit of a tailwind to the stock. Crypto's becoming extremely popular, especially in the last few years, and I think that's just going to keep playing out in the future. And they're looking into other services as a non-broker. So getting deposits as a service, operational leverage, and closing their valuation gap to their peers. So I think they'll grow their revenues the same way they have been for the last few years, and I expect the margins to stay the same as well. So overall, I'm bullish on the stock. So if you've made it this far, thank you very much. I really appreciate you watching. I rate Degiro 7 hidden gems out of 10. I think it's a cracking little company, and it's something that I'll continue to use well into the future, because that's the other thing I should have mentioned before. Brokers are pretty sticky. So if you open a brokerage account, you're obviously going to stay with that broker until you have a good reason to change. Even if you do have a good reason to change, it's not that simple to change brokers. I mean, sure, you have to perhaps fill out a form or do something a bit extra, but people are lazy. They're just going to stick to the same broker. And I think it's just a bit of a mental barrier for people to change brokers. So yeah, I'm bullish on the company. If you like the stuff that I'm producing, please like and subscribe. It lets me know that this stuff is actually being watched and read. So please let me know if you like what I'm doing, and feel free to add an opinion in the comments if you do have a take on what I'm saying and a take on Degiro. Thank you for watching. This, as always, is not financial advice. This is not intended to be a buy or a sell rating on stock. I'm not a professional finance advisor, so please go get your own advice and do your own DD before buying the stock. Thanks for watching again. You can follow me on Patreon, you can subscribe to my channel, and you can follow me on Substack and read some of the deep dives I do in a lot more detail. Thanks very much, and you have a fantastic day.